Hello, guys. Welcome back to Popping the Popcorn. I'm your host, Katie, and today it's Creators Corner with BK. How you doing, BK?
How's it going tonight?
Good. How about yourself?
Doing well.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Glad to be here.
I
I was,
appreciate it.
yeah.
Um, so I found BK through my friend Craig J, and so I started watching his content, and he has amazing content over there. So you guys should go follow him. Um, and I did link his I can't even talk because it's been a long day. Uh, his um his link in the description, so you guys could go follow him as well. So tell us a little bit about your channel and what you do.
Sure. It's KB Loves Movies, and started about a little over a year ago, mostly doing things like movie reviews. I do written reviews for a website. I also just do like out of the theater stuff. Um, new new products like new pickups like new 4Ks, Blu-rays, whatever. But the main thing that I do on the channel and what you first saw me doing is my series called The Conversation. KB loves movies. I also love other movie lovers, so I like to have these little conversations with them. And we cover whatever. I come up with unique questions for each guest. And then we have a series at the end called The Five Takes, where I ask the same five questions to every guest at the end of the conversation. And, it's fun. We just like to talk movies, so that's what it's all about.
That's awesome. And you have an amazing channel. I like hearing your reviews, and all your guests are a lot of fun. So it's a fun series over there, and I know how much you are into horror as well.
Yeah, pretty much all the genres, but if you're a physical media collector, you know that it's the horror fans that keep the physical media game going. So even though in the past I've been more into other things like sci-fi and everything like that,
Hmm.
it's more the horror genre that keeps things going. So it's like all of a sudden
Hmm.
you're like, oh, maybe I want to get that Scream Factory of Halloween and all
Hmm.
the other movies, or there's some new Scream Factory coming out, or whatever the
Hmm.
label may be. So just keeping up with that and rediscovering movies I haven't seen since VHS days. It's a lot of fun.
Exactly. Yeah, I think horror is one of the best genres, and the horror community is really nice because my channel as well is a little bit of everything. So it's nice to like meet friends and have YouTube friends like you guys and just enjoy the movies together. Let's jump into the chat. We have a couple of people. Patrick from Have Cheetah Bovio saying I like your guest lid. Go Yankees.
Yeah, I'm a native New Yorker, so I normally have on a Yankees hat, but tonight I have on this hat that my daughter made for me, which I say this at the end of every video. So
That's
I thought it
awesome.
was cute that she got that made for me. So
That was
yes,
really nice
but
of her.
yeah, born and raised Yankee fan.
Hi, Michael. Sorry for the. I was having technical difficulties. Sorry about that. It was on my end. Computers. Hi, Echo. Welcome. Patrick saying popping the popcorn before the show. Um. Yep. I was having issues. Yes, everything's okay, Hobbs. Hi, Jason. Hi, double feature podcast.
I make
Hi, two boys in their scary pot.
I like that name.
Hi, Karen. Oh, thank you, Carrie. I appreciate it. That's my partner in crime. Y'all go follow everybody. Everybody can connect with everybody. Hi, Dell Movies.
What's up, Dell?
And then Michael's asking you a question already. He's saying, do you write reviews for a website? How do you get that job?
Um, like most journalists, you submit your work, and if it's something that they like, uh, they start to set you up to go to screeners, so you get to see movies not only beforehand but also for free. It's a nice little side gig. I enjoy it.
That's nice. Yeah. What you can also do, Michael, is you can write into the movies. Like you find like where the movie like title comes from or what the company that it comes from, and you can write into them as well and do it that way too. I've done it that way, and I have a couple of them.
Cool.
Yeah,
What's up, Cal?
he's a Hitchcock
Yeah.
guy.
He's saying I'm a Hitchcock guy. Let's see. Can I get it in? Yeah.
Oh,
There's Sir
nice. I love
Alfred back
Hitchcock.
there.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. I appreciate it. Hey, Tiana. How are you?
Hey, Tiana.
Love you, girl. Her and I are actually, if anybody wants to join us, her, I, my other friend, a couple other friends, and I were on what is it, letterbox thing, and we're trying to see who can watch the most movies through the year.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Hey, Jennifer. Thank you guys. I appreciate all you guys being here. Hey, Val, the generals in the chat. Y'all know the rules. Better follow the rules. Thank you. Everybody likes my headband. I actually got it from the dollar store the other day.
There you go.
So go to the dollar store. They have really cute headbands and stuff. I would love that job, BK. I wrote movie reviews at 10 and 11 years old. It's on my conversation with BK. I also wrote reviews on my IDB and user page. Oh, that's awesome, Michael. Yeah, what I started out doing. You're okay. What I started out doing. Sorry, the lights went off. um what I started out doing was I actually on my Instagram, that's how I got like 1,000 followers on Instagram. Was I before I got a YouTube channel, I actually started writing reviews on there. And then I was like, why not write a YouTube, well, I was a podcast first, but I was like, why not start doing it on YouTube? And that's how it happened. So you could do something like that as well. That works. So what's your favorite genre of movies?
I don't know. Like I was saying before, I pretty much go back and forth. To me, it's all about a good movie more than a good genre. But when I was younger, it was more about sci-fi and action movies.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in the 80s and 90s, you got your Terminators, your Rambos, your Rockies,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. So it was very hard to appreciate those genres. But as you get more and more into physical, you start going back and you're going forward with like different things like horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also into Criterion, so a lot of world movies, a lot of international titles. So I'm pretty much all over the place.
Right. I like a little bit of everything as well. I think it makes you well versed, especially if you know a little bit of
Hmm.
everything. Like my
Yeah,
genre really is action. I mean, like I also like horror, but my genre is like action and mobster movies because I really love mobster movies.
yeah, yeah. Goodfellas, that's one of my favorites.
Mine too. It's my favorite of all time.
Yep.
Anybody that knows me, reviews on my blog for about a decade before getting into YouTube. Yes.
Yeah, it's
That's
fun.
that's how I think a lot of people start. And then Carrie goes, I was reviewing on Wix site, but then I pushed into doing YouTube. I'm like good at it, I guess. You're awesome at it. Stop it, Carrie. I own a few and watch few all genres. Yes, we all do. Oh, K-pop. Will you have a collab on Monsters with Christian Slater? Sure, we can do that. I have to learn to spell before I can write reviews. Movie reviews work for me. That's what Hobbs is saying.
That's what the automatic spell check is for.
Right? Well, me, I have a learning disability, so I spell stuff wrong all the time, so I just use spell check. Sometimes it's just easier. When writing a review, what are things you consider going in before you watch?
That's a good question. I think it's kind of hard these days because you have the majority of at least successful movies being adaptations and sequels and reboots and uh, requels and all this stuff. But you try to go into it with an open mind without any type of like predisposition. So a good
Mm-hmm.
example is Fast 10. So you go to see that, it's very hard not to think about the previous nine movies and how the franchise started to the ridiculousness that F9 became when you go into it. So what you try to do is just try to say, "Hey, I know what to expect. I'm just going to have a good time." And you're not going to try to review it and rate it from the sense of like, I don't know, like some period piece or something like that. You know what level of ridiculousness you're going into, so you just rate it
Right.
on that. And in the
Yep.
case of that movie, I had a great time because Jason Momoa was everything in that movie. He was so funny.
Yeah, he was. That was a
But
great
am I,
movie. I think that was a great role for him.
yeah, but am I going to put it in the same realm as like, some 3 hour drama piece? No, it doesn't make sense. It's two different types of movies, two different types of genres. You know what to expect going in.
Exactly, I agree with you. And also when you go to write reviews, also what I like to do also is it's your opinion. It doesn't matter what anybody says. Like we do all have people that say, "Oh, I don't like this movie," and they'll hate on you about it, but it's your opinion. Don't let them like when you're writing something or reviewing even on YouTube, don't let them get you down. It's your own personal opinion and if they don't like it, oh well.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Hi Patrick. Yo Hobbs, and then everybody saying thank God for spell check.
Indeed. And grammar check these
Ivy,
days. My gosh.
welcome. Right? Yeah. And if you guys can't uh, Patrick gets Olive Garden here. Y'all are funny. Um when you watch it Fast and the Furious, are you not expecting the Shankshaw redemption? Very true,
Yeah,
Michael.
yeah,
Yes, I'm going to movie with the opening key in mind. Yes, don't worry about what the critics say or others say. Looking at it as a fresh lens is what it is. Yep, that's
very
exactly
true.
what it is.
Very true.
Dante is going to be awesome. Yep. Yes,
Silly.
it is. I love Shingshaw Redemption. It's a great masterpiece. It's such a good one. It's a long one, but it's good.
Yeah,
If you
I
haven't seen
don't
that,
feel the time.
I left you a comment with I say matters what others say because it what if someone paid more attention in one view than someone else's in several ratings. Sorry, I can't. I say it doesn't matter either way. It's your opinion.
Yeah, somebody could explain a movie to you, and what they got out of it is totally different than what you got out of it. So if you take what they say with their matter of attention or whatever, but it totally missed you, I don't think it's as important as what you got out of it. They might be taking it from a totally technical aspect, but it might hit you in the feels and it might be totally emotional for you. The two of you saw the same movie, but you experienced different things. So it really
Mm-hmm.
is more about you than what other people say, at least initially. Like, I don't
Right.
read a review before I go to see a movie.
I don't either. I don't even watch the trailer. I go in it blind.
Mm,
Like last night, we watched the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That was really good.
yeah, I enjoyed that.
It was sad. I was crying at some parts, but it was good though.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, are there different types of film critics, and what do you identify with more?
I would say so. I mean, you take a look at like a Rotten Tomatoes or whatever, those scores that they say the critical score is kind of like everyone from like someone in a New York magazine to someone who has a website or, someone who writes for a newspaper or what have you, or like AP, and they're coming from all different aspects. If you're,
Mm-hmm.
if you're trained in journalism, you're going to write differently than someone who maybe went to film school versus someone who's just like a avid moviegoer. Everyone is coming with a different perspective. From my perspective, I like to look at it from mostly a technical aspect as far as I try to hit the bullet points like how's the acting, how's this, how's the production, how's the cinematography, things like that. but you can't do that with every movie. Some movies it's just a story. Some movies you have to ignore the story and just go with the technical. So
Hmm.
a good example is like Avatar. There's no story in those movies, honestly. But I mean, it is a technical wonder, both of them, I would
Hmm.
say. Um, but I would go to see that in the theater. I would never want to watch it at home. So,
Right,
like when the
exactly.
new one comes out on physical, I probably won't even buy it.
I agree with you. Avatar, I know this is probably a hot take and people are going to come at me or hate me, but I don't like it at all. But I do like, though, if you go to Disney World, I do like being in the Avatar world at Animal Kingdom,
Yeah.
but, and eating the food because they do have Avatar food, but I don't like the movies. I mean, like, I do like James Cameron. He's a good director. I will give him that. And the cinematography is beautiful in those movies. It's
Hmm.
just I don't want to sit there for 3 hours watching blue people with no like real story.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm with you.
Um, do either of you have any films you're looking forward to in June?
Oh my gosh.
There's so many.
Yeah, you go first. I'll
I'm
probably
looking
agree with
forward
you.
to so around my birthday, I'm looking forward to the new Pigstar film, Internals or whatever, or Emotion.
Elemental.
Yeah, that
Elemental.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elemental. That looks really cute. It kind of reminds me of Inside Out.
Mhm. Me too. Yeah, it does remind me of that.
And then I'm also looking forward to the new Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie because I
Yep.
loved the first one, and I thought it was kind of cool how there's different variants of Peter Parker and everything. So I'm looking forward to that.
Mhm. I was just watching that before we came on. I just finished watching it uh in on my big screen here because I'm gonna see it. I'm so bad. I'm gonna see it tomorrow and then I'm gonna see it Thursday before everybody goes to see it on Friday.
Oh, nice, because you got a screener for it or a
I'm
thingy
going
for it.
to a film festival, and that's how they're opening up the film festival by showing that early. So I'm
Oh,
really
that's
looking forward
awesome.
to that. Yeah, June is just packed with great movies.
Yeah, it
Summer
is.
blockbusters are here, so there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing better. The Flash, I can't wait to see The Flash.
Yeah, I
I
can't either, but I just don't like the actor that plays the Flash. So.
Yeah, yeah. I honestly think he's not going to have much to do with DC after this film is out and done with. So,
We don't talk about
yeah.
him. He is must who we do not talk. Like in
That's
Harry
all I'll
Potter.
say.
Like in
The
Harry
one
Potter,
who,
we
yeah,
we don't talk about him. But even though that he's one of my favorite characters in Harry Potter, but we just don't.
yeah.
But there's so many movies in June. I also want to see that new Matt Damon movie and Brad Pitt was Matt Damon movie and Cillian Murphy about the war, the atomic bomb.
Oh, Oppenheimer.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Hmm.
I seen the preview for it last night because I haven't really seen the previews because I don't go to the movies that much. But but um but I usually watch them when they come on video because I just don't go to the movies that much because I'm always working. It seems like
Yeah, yeah.
Tubi's my thing. That's what I watch Tubi too. Make sure you review the movie you watch, not the one that you thought you should have been. Yes,
Very good,
very
brother
true.
Dell.
Very true. I do that all the time. You know. Um, what is your favorite film,
I think that's
Michael?
from Michael.
I'm not
They're
sure.
having their little chat going back and
Yeah,
forth.
yeah. It's hard to it's hard to like go through the chat sometimes. Um,
Hmm.
hits individual. Yep, I agree, Carrie. That's why you're my partner in crime. I agree with you. It's on everybody's different level, you know.
It's true.
Avatar does have stories. It does, but it's just not something that I really care for. And then they're saying their top movies that they like. Cocaine. What is Patrick saying? Hot take. I didn't like Cocaine Shark. Yeah, that's by Wild Eye. I don't know if you're familiar with Wild Eye movies.
No, what is that?
So it's a small horror. Okay, I'll have to send you the link at the end, and you can get some movies from them. So it's a small horror independent film company,
Hmm.
and Patrick and Hobbs that are in the chat, because they're part of my community and we're all part of the midnight hour, which is on Thursday nights at 10 p.m. If y'all want to come hang out with us, you're more than welcome to.
Cool.
Um, so they're all into Wild Eye movies. They're very, very low budget horror movies. Some of them are good, some are not so good, but they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
You know, like Andy DeVille in Space. Have you heard of that one?
No, I don't think I have.
So that's part of Wild Eye. There's like a whole bunch of different like Wild Eye movies. They're like directors and actors that people never really heard of. Do you know who um do you know who Brett what's his name? Have you heard of Jurassic Shark or anything like that, or Philosophaster?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
Wild Eye.
Okay. Okay. Like what we see at Walmart, like those kind of titles.
Yeah. How does film history help you with consider between movies and understand how they fit into the larger subtext of cinema? That's a great question.
It is. Um, I think that the more you know about like film history, the better you can critique films. So it's very easy to take someone who's used to seeing CGI filled movies today, or someone who's lived through their entire life with summer blockbusters, and take them back to the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s before any of that existed, and them
Mm-hmm.
to say that they don't get those movies or they're bored or it's not original. But you have to realize that in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, it was original. Um, a good example is Citizen Kane. While some people say that movie's boring, the thing that is great about that movie is it was innovative. Orson Welles used camera lenses that were never used, and
Mm-hmm.
different aspects, and ripping up a floorboard to shoot from underneath the ground, shooting up, or to have like the foreground and the background in focus at the same
Mm-hmm.
time. Things that we just take advantage of seeing today, or we're
Mm-hmm.
able to do with like drones or mini cams or things like that, but they had to come up with ways to do it with, big, huge cameras. So I think without knowing that, you can't appreciate what they did back then. It's more of a wonder back then than it is now, because what they created and innovated is what is today easier to do. So it's not as appreciated. Um, a good thing is, being horror fans, practical effects. We love movies like The Thing or American Werewolf in London, because
Mm-hmm.
those practical effects, there's no CGI that could give you that same feeling today with those movies. If
Mm-hmm.
somebody remakes The Thing and they use CGI, it's not as good as the John Carpenter version, because,
Right.
it's practical effects, but that's what they had. They didn't have computers to do the special effects for them.
Right.
So little things like that, I think, I'm that film nerd that if I'm watching TCM, I want to see what they say before and after the movie's over,
Mm-hmm.
just to get a little more out of the movie than just watching it. So I think little things like that helps you understand where movies came from, understand what we see today even more. And when it comes to doing reviews, I think I could make a reference to something like, we were talking about Avatar. I could make a reference to Dances with Wolves or Fern Gully or
Yeah.
something like that, because
Mm-hmm.
those sorry for colonialism movies existed before Avatar. This is just the latest iteration of it. So if you've seen it
Exactly.
before, if you've seen it before and you have that history in your back pocket, you could see certain things and identify with it.
I agree with you. That's why I like the 60s, 70s, even the 1950s movies like Casablanca is a classic because there was
Hmm.
no like I'm more of a person I don't like the CGI nowadays that they use in movies. I'm more of a practical effects type of person. That's why I love the first Halloween so much because John
Yeah,
Carpenter also wrote the song for the movie and did everything for it.
yeah,
So I appreciate the older movies. I mean like I do appreciate some of the newer movies like I do like Christopher Nolan movies, stuff like that. But but I think if you're a film lover, you should go back, especially on HBO Max. They have the movies from like the 50s, the 60s,
Yep.
and it dates all the way back to the 1800s, some of those too. So I think you
Yep.
should go back and watch those because you'll
Yeah.
appreciate movies now more.
It's true. It's true.
Jen said she was ready for the Spider-Man movie. She watched No Way Home earlier. I love No Way Home. It's such a good one.
Yeah.
The new Avatar was a bone. Yeah, yep, was a bore. Yep, I agree. Can't wait. Yep, I can't either.
It's gonna be fun.
Michael's asking, are you going to Los Angeles?
We're trying to get out there this summer. I really hope we can make it happen. I have a laundry list of things that I want to do, like go to the Academy Museum, go to see Nancy's house from Nightmare on Elm Street, everything. I'm
That
gonna
would
be
be
all
so
over the
much fun.
place.
You have to film it for your
Yeah,
YouTube.
definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm so conflicted on the Flash movie. I love DC with those storylines being done. I'm sad, however, I love Bruce and Ben as Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. But I'm more of a Marvel person. But I like DC too. I like both.
Yep.
You know. Yeah. Yeah. There's just so many different movies, out there. I'm trying not to skip comments, but it's just like hard to keep up with everybody.
They're having a lot
Um,
of conversations there.
yeah. Somebody said Kane's Citizen Kane's. I've never seen that one actually. So
Yeah.
I have to watch it.
It's worth the watch at least once.
Yes, I agree with you having to take account the films that were made to realize some effects. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. Especially if you're a film person and you love film, it's one of those things that you have to take in effect everything, every aspect of the movie.
It's true. And
Uh,
the thing with the thing is, they use practical effects and they also use suspense. You know,
hmm
Hitchcock is called a master of
I love
suspense because
Hitchcock.
he could, yeah, he could take something that is not really suspenseful and make it seem very suspenseful. So that's a
hmm
great thing.
So Eric saying from Two Boys in Their Pop, how do you decide the elements to write your reviews? Some audience want plot, but some want to know if it's worth their time.
Yeah, that's hard. I read it's not even an article. It was kind of like a little textbook blurb by this famous movie critic, and basically trying to tell you how to write a better film review. And they were saying, if you give them the plot, you're giving a synopsis, not a
Mhm.
critique. So I try to give as little of the plot as possible because you could go on Google and get the plot, or you could watch a trailer and get the plot. You
Mhm.
want to know how's the acting, kind of like what you like, what you didn't like. Is it worth me going to see it? And I try to focus on those things more than anything else.
I agree with you. That's what I try to do too. I mean, like I do say what the plot is, but in my own words, not like what Google says or what somebody else
Hmm.
says or something.
Definitely not
Especially
what the movie people say.
right. Especially being a content creator on YouTube, you always want to have your own spin on things, because you don't want to copy somebody else either.
Right.
You know. What's your favorite horror movie? Do you have a favorite one?
Ooh, I'm a Fred head, so I'll say Nightmare on Elm Street, the original.
That's a
I
good
love
one.
Freddy.
That made Johnny Depp's movie career,
Yeah.
I think. It's a good one. Mine's Halloween. I love that franchise, but Freddy's my second. Then it's Jason. Then it goes on and on. There's just so many franchises.
Yeah, I was saying the other day, as cheap as that Friday the 13th box set is, I don't own it because I know I would never watch those Jason movies again. It's like
Right.
I've seen pretty much all of them when they first came out, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, they don't have repeat value for me because I got into too many arguments, Freddy versus Jason, who's better, and I would always go for Fred. So it was like,
Right.
why would I go and watch Jason movies now?
Right. Right, exactly. Yes, I heard Robert England was at Monster Palooza this week, and I seen pictures of it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That would be cool to meet him. Thank you, Carrie. Everybody, don't forget to hit that like button and go subscribe to BK. He's awesome. And go over there and flood his comment section. He'll be happy to talk to you.
Always. Also on Instagram, same thing. KB loves movies.
Yes, I will link that. I'll link that in the description as well, so that way people can also go look at your Instagram and talk to you as well on there. So I
Yeah,
will link
I'm
that.
always on there. Always on. If you
I
don't
am
see
too.
me on there, I'm sleeping or
I am
working.
too. I'm always on there, and I'm not supposed to be when I'm at work. Oh, oops. Oh well. Don't tell nobody.
I won't.
Well,
I
I'm the
won't
boss,
tell.
so I can get away with it. Um. So what's the worst movie that you've seen?
Ooh, wow.
I'm putting you on the spot there.
I don't think it was the worst movie, but I'll say the one movie that I walked out of, and I think I was in a bad mood, and I say I'm gonna buy this one day, and I'm gonna give it another shot, and that was Raising Cain with John Lithgow. I don't think it's a bad movie. I just think I was in a bad mood. But
Right.
sitting there, I was just getting pissed just watching it. And I'm like, why am I sitting here watching this? And I just wanted to leave. There's a
Right.
lot worse than that, but something about that movie just rubbed me the wrong way. And ironically, another movie that rubbed me the wrong way, once again, I could have been in a bad mood. The Lego movie, the second one, part
Oh
two.
yeah, I
I
didn't
don't
like
know.
part two either.
I did not like that movie at all. And I just sat there watching it
Hmm.
and I'm like, this is terrible. I hate this. I want to leave. But I didn't. I didn't leave that time. I stayed and it didn't get any better in my opinion. Lego
Hmm.
Batman now. I love that movie.
Oh,
I
that one
love
was so
Lego
much
Batman.
fun. I love
Yeah.
Lego Batman. I also
Will
like the
Arnett is
first
the
Lego
best.
movie because I like the song
Me
"Everybody's Awesome"
too.
when you're part of
I
the
love
team.
that one. I thought it was going to be more the same, but it wasn't, and I was just highly disappointed. But yeah, if you're a horror fan, you've seen terrible horror movies, you've seen
Hmm.
terrible comedies, but
Right.
those are the two that stick out. There's a lot worse that I've seen and forgotten by now. I've reached a point where I've forgotten more movies than I remember.
Right. Yeah. I I walked out of. I know I walked out of Blair Witch Project because that movie made me dizzy. Walked out of
Mm.
that one. I can't watch it till this day because it makes me dizzy.
Oh
Um.
wow.
Yeah. Because I think it's the way that they filmed it. Um.
Shaky cam.
Yeah, and I don't like stuff like that. Um. So I walked out of that one. I walked out of Licorice Pizza because I didn't like that one as much either. It's a guy
I,
flick instead of a girl chick flick. It's a guy chick flick.
I have to say, I have major
You need
problems with
money?
that movie, and it was like, all the critics' darlings
Mhm.
and
What are you getting?
nominated for all these things.
Okay. How many monsters are you gonna get? Okay. Here you go. Okay. Sorry about that. Somebody in my house
No
needed
problem.
something. Um.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just had problems with Licorice Pizza, and I kept saying, she's older, he's younger. If it was the reverse, people would be up in arms about it. So
Right.
yeah, I didn't enjoy that much.
I didn't either. I mean, like I own it just because it was like $5, so I bought it. But
Hmm.
it it was something to do when I was in New York living there. So I was like, okay, I'll watch it. So I
Yeah,
bought it. If a movie has a similar plot to the previous review, how would you go about addressing it? That's a good question.
that is a good one. I think no matter how similar they are, there are nuances. So I would just try to focus on the nuances because if it's been done before, you're not going to write the same review again. So you have
Mhm.
to focus on what's different. So I would just go with that. That's actually an easy review to write. It'll be a short one, but an easy one.
Exactly. Double Feature saying they like Aliens and Halloween. I like Alien too. That's a good series.
Hmm.
It made Sigourney Weaver the first. That made her as well. I pass on the Jason franchise. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe. And then Patrick saying Canadian slasher movie. We need a Canadian slasher movie.
Yeah. Something in the
Thank you,
woods.
Carrie. He's saying sub to you.
Thank you.
I subbed before the stream. Thank you, Patrick.
Appreciate that.
Wow, Raising Kings has aged since I saw that. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a
Yeah.
long time. I should probably do a review on it. Let's see.
It'd be good to go and watch it again.
Nope, not unless you watch Army of Darkness. I love Army of Darkness. That's one of
What's
my
with the
guilty
Army of
pleasures.
Darkness? Is it like a movie that they haven't watched and everybody give them like stuff for it or something?
Yeah, well, Carrie Craves Cinema, my partner in crime, she hasn't watched it, and
Hmm.
everybody keeps telling her to watch it. It's
It's good. I love it. It's fun.
the Lego movie's good. The second one's not as good.
Yeah.
Hey, Repel the Angel, how are you? Frosty, yeah. I like a lot of different movies. The Lego movie's catchy song, yes, it is. I love that song.
Hmm. Very well thought out. Second one, not so much.
Echo, shouldn't you cry? Because I haven't watched Army of Darkness. See, that's what they're doing. Rubber 2 was the worst movie I ever seen. I seen the first one. I didn't know that they had Rubber 2.
Hmm.
That's on Tubi. Oh yeah, I won't watch The Human Centipede ever. I didn't like
Mm.
it. Would not watch that. I do not like body horror. What they call it, body horror. I do not like it.
Yeah.
Licorice Pizza is terrible. Yep.
Yeah. I know Dell doesn't like that movie.
Licorice, the licorice not on pizza. Y'all are funny. I'd rather watch Wolf Island again than before Hereditary. Well, I liked Hereditary. I wouldn't watch Wolf Island.
Hereditary is a very, very good movie. A very disturbing movie at times, but a very good movie.
I actually like that one better than Midsummer.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
And I'm not an A24 person. I don't like A24 films. I've only liked a couple of their films.
I like what they put out as a studio, but I know sometimes people go to extreme and it's like they immediately like perceive that they're gonna like a film just because it's from A24. It's kind of odd, but
Hmm.
yeah.
I just don't like some of their stuff. I guess maybe it's just the way that they portray the storyline or something. I don't know. It's just
Hmm.
something like that.
Yeah.
As an
Take them individually.
Yeah, as a movie critic, you may be asked to write both positive and negative reviews. How do you maintain professionalism? To be honest.
I I think it's pretty much like doing a debate. You have to be able to look at it from both sides, no matter how
Hmm.
good or how bad it is. I mean, your favorite movie has something you could critique about it in a negative way, and the worst movie, you have something positive that you could say about it. So I think it's bringing both sides of the coin to every review.
I've seen a lot of movies, Michael. I don't know how many. Too many to count. I've seen a lot.
I think
I
he
hated.
tracks how many that he watches.
I hated Splatterhouse. I guess they're disgusting. Well, if I go on my letterbox, this is like from like the past couple years. If I go on my letterbox, hold on, let's see.
Hmm.
Um, so let's see. So this year I've watched 600. This year I've watched 64 films, and then films altogether I've watched 453 films. But that's just since I've had my letterbox. But I've watched a whole bunch of movies before that too.
Yeah,
So I don't even know. Probably 3,000. I want to say because there's just so much to watch. So little time, so much to watch. You know, I prefer Midsummer over Hereditary. Hey, that's good.
personal.
Megan was good. Oh, I didn't know that they were making another Megan. I liked that.
Yeah, yeah, that was a fun way to start the year with Megan.
Michael's saying he agrees with Hereditary than Midsummer. Yes, exactly. Yeah, Midsummer is good. I mean, like it's good. It's a different horror movie because it's in the daytime, and I
Hmm.
thought that was an interesting story.
Yeah.
I've watched 400, 300,
See,
4,300 movies in my life. Oh wow. I'll have to check that out, Michael. That's awesome. Um so what did you pick a new release on Blu-ray this Tuesday? Did
uh,
you pick up a new release? No.
I got the Cliffhanger Steelbook that came out. I know it was out before, but I didn't grab it before. And this new one has Dolby Vision, which my TV can handle. And I'm wearing this shirt tonight because this came out on Criterion today. This is Thelma and Louise.
Oh, I love
So
Thelma and Louise. Such a cute
looking
movie.
forward to seeing that again. I love that movie. I really
That's such
do.
a cute movie.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so my movie collection, I'm still I moved, so I'm still getting my movie collection back because I had to like give a lot of it away. So I'm still
No,
trying to get my movie collection back up. So I don't really have a lot of movies. I do have some, but I don't have a lot.
yeah. I am currently surrounded. Like, if you look, that right
Mhm.
there is the only shelf that I've built since I moved. I moved at the beginning of this year, but I am surrounded by boxes and tubs and bins of movies to go
Mhm.
up on shelves. Like, I'm looking over there at my couch, I could see at least 24Ks over there. I'm
Oh
looking
wow.
over there at this Billy bookcase,
Mhm.
three, four, five, six, seven, eight, and the Born Identity box set. I have another tub of just 4Ks on the floor here. So I need more shelves built in order for me to put away my movies
Right.
because I'm literally stepping on them.
Oh wow. Yeah, my I think I have about like maybe 20, 30 movies and some of those are what film companies gave me. So,
Oh, okay.
mhm. I'm
That's cool.
watching Ritual Kill with Morgan Freeman next week. Oh, I haven't heard anything about that.
No, I haven't heard anything either.
Carrie saying, "Oh, I love Thelma and Louise shirt. I need to rewatch." Yeah.
Thank you.
Also Pope's Exorcist. That looks interesting.
I have no interest in that one. I don't know what it is.
I have to grab the new edition of Thelma and Louise. I love that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, Criterion.
Are they actually doing Chucky versus Leprechaun next year?
Oh, why?
I know, right? Pope's Exorcist is released. Oh, nice. Um, the Billy case is great. I used it. I love that you can use it on the eighth shelf added. Nice.
Yeah, I had a couple different ones, and I had to take some shelves from the
Mhm.
second box to add to that one. So I didn't believe it,
Mhm.
but IKEA actually sells shelves just by themselves, so you could get extra shelving. So I'm like,
Right.
now I need four for the ones that I took out from there. So it's
Patrick's
crazy.
saying he didn't. Thelma and Louise plot was stupid, but it's a cute movie though.
Aw, sorry you
I
think
like
that.
it. It's one of my favorites. It reminds me of my mom. My mom passed away 12 years ago, and that was a movie that we used to watch together. So I
Oh,
really
nice.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
It can be fun rebuilding your collection. I think it is fun, because I get to try to find different movies that I haven't seen in a while or don't have, or people just send me movies sometimes too.
That's cool.
It hurt my brain watching it. Oh, okay, Patrick. We had a period of watching movies at home with the pandemic, but your opinion is why seeing movies in theaters worth it compared to waiting for streaming. That is true.
I like being in that theater experience, especially when you talk about like something that's really popular. Like
Hmm.
I have like core memories of things like seeing Get Out or the silence in a theater at the end of Infinity War or
Yes.
um, most horror movies. Like I saw
Hmm.
Megan with a great audience. I saw Renfield with a great audience. And I think like we were saying before, some movies are meant to be seen theatrically, and it can't be duplicated on streaming or even physical media for some movies.
Hmm. You can learn to buy shelves separately. You learn. Yep, you can. And then
Yep.
double feature podcasts upgrading Blu-rays are cool. Yes, they are. but they're just so much money. Next summer, the Alien movie comes out to theaters. I didn't
Hmm,
know that they were making another one.
me neither.
I pulled out all my movies in disc binders. Best thing to take away is less room. Yes, it does. Forrest Gump 2. I didn't know there was a steelbook for it. Some movies have great, yeah, experience like horror. Yes, it
Yeah,
does. But with the
and
movie
it could make
theaters
the
being so
difference.
expensive now, it's harder for me to go.
Yeah. Um, well, where are you now? Are you back in New
I'm in
York now?
Florida.
Oh, you're in Florida.
I
But
was in New York.
yeah, I was gonna say like certain theaters like AMC, they have the passes, and if
Yeah.
you do that, depending on what they cost, some places cost more for them, but if you do that and you could
Mhm.
get out to a movie like 2, 3 times a month, you more than pay for it, and it
Right.
covers the
hmm
the cost of it. Not, I like seeing it in the specialty theaters. Like AMC is based here in Kansas City, where I am, so they have like premier Dolby screens and premier IMAX screens. So I see it like in the best quality possible, and it's great to see a movie that way.
I'm laughing at Carrie's comment because she said she ran away from me. But I lived 8 hours from you though because I lived upstate New York.
Ah, okay.
She lives in Buffalo and I lived in Plattsburgh, New York, that most people don't never heard of.
Ah, I know Plattsburgh.
It's a small town,
Hmm.
very small. It's a mountain town. The cool thing is that the movies have quick, yes, turnarounds in movie theaters as they come streaming quickly. Yes, they do.
Yeah, that wasn't always the case for the longest time. It
No.
was sometimes a year to get to like a video
Mhm.
or whatever.
Yeah. Well, what they did was I remember I think it was like Harry Potter or Twilight, one of those movies that they first did, and it was like theater release and DVD and Blu-ray release, and you could watch it on streaming or something like that years ago.
Hmm.
I remember it was something like that. I love mountains. What's up? Y'all are silly. Uh, what elements do you apply when reviewing films?
Whatever stands out. I mean, like you were saying before, movie you don't expect to have good cinematography could have it,
Mm-hmm.
like a Avatar movie or something. But usually you want to make sure it has at least some kind of decent acting. I
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the one thing everyone can easily identify and agree with.
Right.
So yeah, I try to look at it from every possible aspect, from the writing to production, if there's special effects, you know, um,
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. So it all depends on the movie.
Well,
Different aspects, different movies.
one movie I think of when reviewing something like that is Inception, because each time you watch that movie, you notice something different, and it's
Hmm.
something different that you notice in that movie, like something that wasn't there. That's like one of those movies that you actually like are like, is I didn't see this the first time. It's one of those
Yeah,
type of movies.
it's true. It's a beautiful thing. Very layered.
Because I can rewatch that movie over and over again and find different things that I didn't see before, different elements that I didn't see before, because that movie's so complex.
Yeah, I love it.
Knock Knock, who was in the theater version of The Cabin Book at the end of World? I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, I didn't see Knock at the Cabin.
I've seen Cabin in the Woods. I thought that was an interesting plot.
That is.
Slurpees. Now we're talking about Slurpees. I love me some Slurpees. But yeah. So do you have a favorite action movie?
Ooh. Well, I would say my favorite action movie is my favorite sci-fi movie, which is Terminator 2. You can't go wrong with that.
That's a great movie. I love Terminator. I like the whole series. Even the newer ones aren't bad.
Yeah, they're okay, but I mean, if you had to rank them, it's like Terminator 2 and then everything else can follow after that. But
Right. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe
that's
I'll
at the
have you
top.
come back one day and we'll rate all the Terminator movies. That would be fun.
That would be fun. I think yeah, I think I own them all in some format, whether it's DVD or all the way up to 4K. So yeah, I think that'd be fun to
That
do.
would be a lot of fun. I like I
Yeah.
like to I like to rank movies. I think it's more fun to rank movies when you have more people or
Hmm.
people that love the same type of movie, I think.
I agree.
You
That'd be
know.
fun.
Yeah. Like I could trick y'all in doing Mount Rushmores too. You know what that is, right? Have you heard
Yeah.
of those? Yeah,
Hmm.
those are always fun. I was on somebody's stream the other day, and they were having me think it was on movies and beyond, Michael movies and beyond, and he was like having us like do a Mount Rushmore of like okay, so if you took like the greatest like slasher, like who would you want on your Mount Rushmore, like out of the horror like icons, like Freddy, Jason, Jigsaw, Pinhead, stuff like that. Who would you want? And I was like thinking about this, and I'm like this could switch anytime. Broken Arrow, I love that movie with Christian
I
Slater.
haven't seen that in so long, but that was a fun one.
Is that Christian Slater and John Travolta, or is that Face Off? I always get those two confused. I don't know. There's just too many movies like that. Jason Rules. Give me some Kevin Bacon and Trimmer. Always makes me laugh. Yes, I watched
Great
that
movie.
for the first time like 2 years ago.
Isn't it good?
Hmm.
I like that movie.
There's a lot of movies that a lot of people have seen that I have not seen, and they're like, "Why?" And I was like, "Just haven't gotten around to it." There's
All
so
in
much
time.
other stuff to watch.
Yeah,
How does
all
a
in time.
genre of film become very important in criticism and analytics of a film for you?
Uh, I think because it's a matter of certain genres have certain tropes, and when you when you fall into certain tropes, it could either be, all right, we expect it, so like if it's a rom-com or something, take your typical Hallmark movie,
Hmm.
guy, girl, me, there's some falling out, there's some getting back
Hmm.
together, and then, roll credits kind of thing. So I think if like the tropes of a certain genre, that can affect the way you critique a movie, the way you review a movie. Sometimes you just want that. You want the
Hmm.
expected. It's the reason why people rewatch their favorite shows, whether it's The Office or Seinfeld,
I
or
love those.
if you're watching Breaking Bad for the 47th time or whatever it is, because you know what to expect. So it's kind of like that kind of thing too. Like you know what to expect if a horror movie is a slasher, or you know what to expect if, a drama is like that. So
Yeah, I agree with you. Somebody's saying Jeepers Creepers Force was terrible. I didn't see that because I like
no
the original,
intentions.
so I didn't watch it. I like the
No
original
intentions
too.
on seeing that. Yeah.
Uh, Hi Lisa. I mean, wow. Hi
Hey
Melissa.
Mel.
How are you? Um, yeah, Tremors is awesome. It's a good one. Yeah, I love rom coms too. Who doesn't like rom coms?
You'd be surprised.
I love my favorite rom com is 10 Things I Hate About You. I love that movie. I also like Love Actually. That one's a good one, and it's a Christmas one too. So no movie mob movies being as a musical as a plot twist. Yep. Bruce Campbell always does talk about Q&As up in Minnesota University. Oh, that's pretty cool. I actually so when he was doing Burn Notice, I'm an extra on Burn Notice because my friends that was here in Miami, my friend's sister wrote for them.
Oh, nice.
So in a couple episodes of Burn Notice, I'm in the extras. I don't know if you can see me, but you know, but it's pretty cool to be an extra. Have you ever been an extra on a film or anything like that?
No, not at all.
It's pretty cool.
Sounds it.
I was also on Alan Jackson's 5 o'clock somewhere video because he filmed it here in Jupiter, Florida, which is a couple
Oh.
hours from me. Well, like about 30 minutes, whatever. And I was in that one as well. That was pretty cool, but I don't know if you can see me anywhere, but I'm an extra in it.
You
It's
gotta
just
look for yourself in the different episodes in a music video and then just like make like a little video compilation and just keep
mhm.
circling wherever you are.
Yeah, exactly. 51st Dates, that's a good one.
Yeah, I love Drew.
It's a cute one. I love Drew Barrymore. I love anything she does.
Hmm.
I loved her in E.T. That was like my first like performance of her. And then I really loved how she was in the first part of Scream. I wish she was in
Yeah.
it more instead of killed off in the first scene, but that's okay. But I didn't like her short haircut though.
Yeah. I know we have some people in the chat who really love Scream.
Hmm I like Scream. Well, my friend Craven, I don't know if you know who Craven Something Scary is. He loves Scream.
Oh
He's one
yeah.
of our friends, and he loves Scream. He's a huge like Stu person. He wants Stu to be alive.
I've heard
Uh,
that before.
with having a job as a critic, how has your review of cinema changed over the years?
Um, you come to appreciate more of the older movies, like you were saying before, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s. You appreciate the older movies more because you see how the original ideas then are being reused today or recycled today. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like you want to see the first time they did that. So you mentioned rom-coms. It happened one night. That's one of the first original
It
rom-coms.
is. It's a great
And
one.
I love that movie. I'd quicker
Me too.
watch that than a new rom-com that might be on like Netflix or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Carrie sing when Harry met
Great one.
Sally. I love that
Great
movie.
one. Yeah,
I
that's a
love
great one.
anything with Billy Crystal in it.
Hmm.
Anything Billy Crystal. Forget Paris is one of my favorite. I haven't seen that one.
That's good.
I have
That's
to
a good
check it
one too.
out. I'll do a movie review and tag y'all in it.
There you go.
Uh, I met Billy Crystal. Oh, that's awesome. I love City Slickers. That's a good one. I like him as Michael Lazowski. He plays a great Mike Lazowski in Monsters
Hmm.
Inc. He does the voice so well. Um, Patrick's asking, are you a Hallmark fan?
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
I like Hallmark films. I will admit that I do like them, but that's okay. That's why we love movies, right? We each all have our own favorite. Oh yeah, Marilyn Monroe movies. I love her movies too,
Yep.
and I like Breakfast at Tiffany's. I love all those kind of movies.
Yep. Audrey Hepburn.
She's so beautiful. Both of them are so beautiful. And she's saying, K-pop, what? You have not seen Forget Paris? No, I have not.
Deborah Winger. Yep.
I like Deborah Ringler too.
Yep.
Uh, Aubrey's the queen. Yes, she is. She's amazing. There's like so many actors and actresses that have passed that are excellent as well.
Yeah.
Like
And
Heath Ledger is one, used to be like one of my favorite like actors, and too bad he passed away too soon. I think
yeah,
his reputation of the Joker is one of the best.
I agree. I agree.
Besides Jack Nicholson, he did pretty good too. That's like one of my favorite. I love Jared Leto, but I didn't like his Joker
Mm-mm.
as much. Hey
Nope.
Dracula, how are you?
Caprice. Hello.
Val, you're who's that? Oh, they're bickering. That's my community, y'all. They like to bicker and pick on each other in the comments.
That's all in fun, I'm sure. That's
It
good.
is, it is, it is. Um,
I love getting into like the different communities because, it's very easy to feel like your little circle is
Mm-hmm.
your little corner of it, but there's so many different people. So I like learning about the different communities, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is. But there's so many out there, so many movie lovers.
There is. And
Hmm.
like I tell people, you're welcome back anytime. My community, they'll love you guys. So follow everybody. Follow everybody. Everybody can. If the moderators want to drop links, they can. That's the way that I do on my channel. What is uh what is your favorite Marilyn Monroe movie? That's what they're asking.
For
She's
me,
asking V. I
uh,
don't know. I have so many. Hey Dan, welcome. I have so many Marilyn Monroe movies that I like. There's too
yeah,
many.
I like Some Like It Hot just because she balances Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon so well. So
That's a great
I
one.
think,
It,
yeah,
and Double Feature saying it's great to discover new content creators. It is.
yeah, it's very easy to get caught up with the people you know and forget there's
Mm-hmm.
like a whole other world
Anyone
out
wants to
there.
answer my Marilyn Monroe question? There's just so many movies with her in it that I like. I just can't name them. There's too many. And then
Gentlemen prefer blondes. That's another good one.
yeah, that is. She had this like, I don't know. Marilyn Monroe had this like nostalgic against for her, and she was very beautiful, like Audrey Hepburn. All those women before those times were very beautiful.
Hmm.
Too bad they passed away too soon.
Agreed.
Um, what action do you like? So out of Jason Bourne and John Wick, which one do you like better?
Oh, I just rewatched the first Jason Bourne movie the other night with my son. Um, but there's something about those John Wick movies. Maybe it's recency bias. I don't know, but I love the John Wick movies.
I
I'm
do
here
too.
trying to decide which of the I don't know how many different physical media editions there are coming out, but
Hmm.
I can't decide which one I want to get. So I got to make a decision soon in
I
case
like
it's
them
like a
both.
steel book or something.
I
I
read
like
the
them both.
Jason Bourne books because I'm also an avid reader. So
Yeah.
I read a lot of movies. Well, books were movies to begin with anyway, a lot of them. So I read the whole series and I'm like I like them both, so I can't really decide
Yeah.
because I like Keanu Reeves and I like Matt Damon, so I can't decide who I like better. But I didn't
Yeah.
like Jeremy Renner's version of Jason Bourne as much.
Nah, not really.
Patrick's asking, what is your favorite IFC release?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know because like certain films, like when they show it, I'm not sure of like where I actually watched it, so I can't really think of any titles like quickly off the top. Huh, that's a good
They have
one.
so many in their repertoire.
Yeah, for some reason, I know this is not on there, but I have like very vivid memories of watching Drugstore Cowboy on IFC, and I don't even know if it's on that label or not on that studio, but I just remember watching that. But
Michael's saying he likes I Like It Hot. Yeah, that's a good one.
hmm.
Marilyn Monroe had an air about her. Elegance, yes, she did. She
Yep.
did. Um, haven't seen how haven't seen a Mary in a Million. I haven't seen that either. Haven't seen that one.
Hmm.
Two Boys is asking, what movie did you think you might have given a negative review but really enjoyed it?
Most recently, Fast 10. I really thought it was just going to be just more of the terrible that Fast 9 was, but like I said, Jason Momoa saved it. I think if he wasn't in there and there was a different villain or someone who didn't come in with such energy and so bombastic and everything, I
Mm-hmm.
really think that it would have just been like, ugh, here we go, another one. But
Right.
I'm not saying it was a masterpiece or anything, but it was enough to take it from what was potentially going to be a negative review to being a slightly positive review, and it's him. It's him that put it over the top.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. I actually liked how Jason Momoa was the bad guy because you never really seen him play a bad guy before, so it was
Yeah,
interesting to
I
see him
mean he's a
play kind of like a
superhero.
bad guy.
Yeah,
It's interesting to see people play bad guys like Jared Leto's movie what was it? I forget what it was called, but it's on HBO Max now. He played like a car dealer or some kind of like thing, and he was like a bad guy. And it was interesting to see him play a bad guy besides the Joker, which he sucked at. But it was really interesting to see him like that from like Dallas Buyers Club to like being playing like an evil person. It was interesting.
yeah.
He did it for the family. Diamond Stone Cowboys is the only being shown on IFC TV, not IFC Film. Oh, okay.
Well, good to know.
Yeah, there's just so many IFC films. It's hard to tell you, Patrick. You're the only expert on IFC midnight films and IFC films.
That's good to know. We have an expert in our midst.
He does once a month on Sundays. They do a IFC panel. This last one, I think they did. I don't even remember. Patrick, what movie did y'all do this past like month? I don't even remember what it was. But he's the IFC expert. I say I'm the Disney expert because I can tell you anything you would want to know about Disney. That's what I tell people. Nice to see
Cool.
different roles for Jason Momoa. Exactly.
I agree.
5'11" Dante would be reformed a part of the family. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it seems like that's the trend. That's why the first words of my review is um, that Dom has too much family. Because
Mm-hmm.
pretty much almost every villain from a previous movie is now a
Right.
part of his family. Almost everyone.
They're doing Jane the autopsy of Jane this week.
I like that movie. I just got a version of it from Canada with a cover that I can't show on air.
Congratulations, Anthony. Also Disney expert. Oh, awesome. All right, I'm gonna go subscribe to your channel.
Yeah,
I'm going right
Caprice is
now
a
to
good
subscribe.
lady.
What?
I said Caprice is a good lady. That's her name. Draculina.
Um, wait. I'm like, how do I get to my channel? Wait, duh. It's because I'm not. All right, I just subbed to you. It's because I'm not like used to me being on here and then going on my phone and going to my.
Going
Um.
from one to another.
Yep. What have you bought your What bought about your passion for film review?
I think it was just born out of taking film classes and just talking about movies with other people. And I would watch a movie sometimes and unsolicited, like start writing about it, like things that I picked up or something that moved me. Like I was chatting with a friend last night, and after we were done, it made me want to go back into my notes app on my phone, and I started looking through like old notes that I had from like, I don't know, 2006 or whatever, and I found this. It wasn't even a movie review. It was just kind of like almost like some kind of composition that I got from watching Eyes Wide Shut and the relation to the word Fidelio, which was a password and all that stuff. And I just started to like
Thank you.
go crazy just talking about it and writing
Mm-hmm.
it down. And it was like things like that that just got me started with writing film reviews.
Y'all go follow Draculina. She's awesome. Go follow her.
She is. She's a
Has
sweetheart.
anyone seen the series? I have not.
Yeah, I just saw that was finishing up its season. Haven't heard anything about it, good or bad.
Yeah, the Jane's Autopsy. It's a good movie.
Tiff.
And then
Yes.
she just sub too. Thank you, Carrie. That's awesome.
Yeah. Great song too.
We love subbing and meeting new people. So you all sub to each other. That's what we do here. We all have community and we all sub to each other. Saul, Halloween 28, Red Carpet, Jamie, and the whole gang. Oh, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Did
I'd
you?
love to meet Jamie Lee.
I would too. I love Jamie Lee. I love anything she does. She has this like her she can go from like horror, even though that she said in like interviews and stuff she doesn't really like horror movies. She doesn't watch them. She can go from like horror to like comedy and like real quick.
Yep. Yep. So
It's
true.
interesting. It's fun. For the horror fans, a great TV show I would recommend is The
From.
Form. Okay, yeah, I'll check that out. I really
Cool.
like American Horror Story. I really like that series. It's by the same person that did Glee, and a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
didn't really like it or whatever. I didn't know that it was him. It's interesting. She did no post links. You, so my moderators can post links. I don't know what you're talking about. No post links. I'm not sure what y'all are talking about, but my Carrie can post links like she did before. Because YouTube will kick you if you're not a moderator. You can't post links. It'll
There
kick
you
you
go.
out. So Carrie did post your link
Yeah.
for
And
you.
follow her on Instagram too. Good account.
Okay, yeah, she has a Instagram too. Okay, I'll find her on your Instagram and go follow her. I love meeting like other females that love horror, love movies, just because
Yeah.
there's not too many females that actually love movies, and you know what I'm saying. Like I just like to connect with people that love movies.
Yeah. Just talking about my conversations, pretty much all of the ladies that I've had on were horror fans. So double feature podcast, Mika and Kira, they're
Hmm.
twins. I've had them on. I've had Caprice on. Um, Other women, there's Horror Macaroni. She's a horror slash VHS fan, so she's still in the
Oh,
VHS game.
nice.
Yeah, a whole bunch of ladies, and I love that they're all into the horror genre and they represent it, and they're
Hmm.
like real life final girls to me, and it's really awesome.
Right. Yeah. We love Carrie and I. We love meeting other and Val, who's in the chat. We love horror as well, and we love meeting other horror girls. So
Hmm.
you guys are welcome to come over here anytime you guys like.
That'd be
We.
cool. For the month of October, I do this thing called Spooky Season, where not necessarily horror movies, but we just talk about spooky movies that we like.
Mhm.
And yeah, I would love to have some of you on, just to
Sure.
have the ladies represent. I think that's so
Anytime.
important. Yeah.
You know me. Anytime I'll be there. Anytime you're on, I'll be there. Even if I'm
I
not at
already
work, I'll
have
be
you
there.
down. I already
Just
have
just
your
let me
name
know
down.
so that way I can get them day off or take the night off or whatever.
Yeah,
Because one of my
definitely.
favorite spooky movies is Nightmare Before Christmas, but I watch that anytime.
Hmm. My
And
daughter is the
Hocus
same
Pocus, I
way.
love Hocus Pocus.
That's a good one too.
The second one
The
wasn't too
original.
bad.
I wasn't a fan, but the original for sure.
This I read the book. I actually hold on. Let me see. I have it. Yeah, hold on. I actually have the book. They actually came out with the book before the movie. So I actually have the Hocus Pocus 2 book.
Nice.
Yeah. They so I actually like the book better than the movie, but that's always what happens.
True. True.
Uh how do you look at different how do you look at directors not having love for criticism bother you, or is it something you understand?
I It doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I totally get where they're coming from as a director, especially if you wrote it too. If you're the writer director, you have a vision, you have an outlook for your movie, And it can be very frustrating when, I mean, pretty much I'm an example. Anybody could be a film critic these days. But I think that there are people out there that
Mhm.
like a certain genre and then that's it. They stick to that
Mhm.
genre. Let's say it's horror, and that
Right.
horror fan might have to do a review of a drama, or they might have to do a comedy or
Mhm.
something, and that's not their forte. So they're not going to be as experienced as someone who just lives in that world. So that director or that writer director, that is their world. That movie is their passion. In a lot of
Mhm.
cases, it's their life. And if that critic doesn't get it, then it's very hard for them to
Mhm.
take that criticism and say you didn't see what I try to show. So I understand where they're coming from, but
Double
that
feature. I followed you guys.
you also have to understand that not so much
Mhm.
as before, but critics really dictate before in a lot of cases if a movie will be successful
Mhm.
because people look at Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb and who put how many stars in the trailer or the commercial. So people look at that stuff.
Right. Exactly. I agree. Um. I think it depends on also what directors you like too, because some directors you might not be too keen on too. Depends on how the director is. I think that's what also makes a good movie. Because if the director doesn't like the project as much, the movie's not going to be as good. I think
Yeah, it happens.
all horror ladies got to stick together. That is true. Very
Tell
true.
them,
Double
sweetheart.
feature. I
Tell them.
just I just followed you as well because we love to support other females here, and we like to support males too. I love supporting my male guys too. But it's always fun when you get to meet new creators, and like I said, that's why I like doing Creators Corner because you get to meet new and different creators through. I do it through because I have a lot of Disney people, I have a lot of TikTok friends, I got a lot of Instagram friends, so I like meeting different creators and getting them on here. That's why
Yeah,
I started Creators Corner.
I love
In
it.
your opinion, what's your favorite sequel to a franchise?
Favorite sequel to a franchise? Oh my gosh. Uh, we recently did a live stream, a bunch of
Hey, Professor.
my friends about sequels that are better than the original. So Terminator 2 is one of them. Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, that's another one.
That's a great
Uh,
one.
some people say Godfather Part 2 is better than Godfather Part 1. That's another
Mhm.
one. Um, More recently, I'd say Terrifier 2 over Terrifier and All Hallows Eve. So
Mhm.
I think there's examples everywhere of it. So
Yes, that I
yeah,
agree. There Terrifier. I only seen the first one because to me, I don't. It was like a little bit of a horror movie that was like a little bit too gruesome for me, so I just didn't like it. So
yeah.
that's why I didn't watch the second one.
The second one is a lot more brutal. So much more brutal.
Yes, that's why I love BK's conversation series. I've been introduced to so many new creators.
And
That's
they
why I
love you
started this
too.
one. So that way I can meet different creators. Like I just met BK like about a month ago maybe.
Yeah, Cray
And
Dre. Shout out.
yeah, Cray J, I love music. I love Dre. He's amazing. If y'all haven't followed Dre, go follow him. He's an amazing guy.
Fun dude.
He's so much fun. I love his like 70s, 80s like afro and stuff when he does his music. I just start cracking up laughing.
Hmm.
Um I have actually say Scream 2 for me because it holds nostalgic for me.
I could see that.
But if she
Some
rates
people put
them,
it
she likes one, two, three, four, five, six, something like that. She likes them in order.
in order. Wow. Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that. Scream 3. That doesn't work for me.
Three's my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think it's too cheesy and too
No,
schlocky and too self-absorbent? Those are all words I would use to describe it.
I
It's
I
like,
like it because it doesn't get a lot of love.
Oh, so you're rooting for the underdog. So really, it's
Hmm.
the way other people see it, not the way you see it.
Right, exactly. Maybe I'll do a video on it to why I like it so much.
So if everyone loved it, would you like it?
Probably not, because I usually root for the underdog movies because I am the underdog growing up. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
say. I am the underdog because people underestimated me a lot of the time. So I like to prove people wrong. So in my opinion, I'm the underdog.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yes, Star Trek 2 is fantastic. Yes, it is. Tremors 2
Yeah,
is actually one of my favorite over
I
original.
agree.
Aliens, Jaws
Aliens.
2, Godfather
No,
Part 2,
no, no Jaws too. No.
Empire Strike Back, The Dark Knight are all the
Oh,
originals. Yes,
Empire. How could I forget Empire? That's
I
my
love
favorite.
Empire. It's one of my favorites. Oh, hey,
My
I changed
favorite.
it slightly. One, two, three, four, six, and
Six
five.
and five. I do also put six above five,
Me too.
but yeah, three. Got to move three down to the bottom.
Uh, autocorrect. Yeah, I hate autocorrect sometimes. how how dare you? They're being silly. The Wedding Veil trilogy was great. He's talking about a Hallmark. That's what he's talking about. Patrick's talking about Hallmark. He hasn't seen them, Patrick. Favorite part is the Howling 2. I've never seen the Howling, so I have to check that out. Your Sister is a Werewolf. I've never seen that one. Christopher Lee. Ruben. I haven't seen any of those. Christopher Lee is he was Saruman in Lord of the Rings, wasn't he?
hmm He was
Yeah,
also Count
I love Lord
Dooku.
of the Rings. I'm a nerd. Love Lord of the Rings. You gotta learn it's a charm, BK. Screen 3 has a lot of human elements.
Put it this way. I was by my friend's house and we were watching Top Gun Maverick and we turned it off and Scream 3 was on. And he's a guy that if a movie's on TV, he'll just start watching it from wherever.
Hmm.
And I saw him grab the remote. I'm like, "You're not going to watch this?" He's like, "No, it's Scream 3." And he turned off the TV.
That's funny. And then uh Dracula
I know.
Dracula Sink
I,
Empire. I
I'm
love Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars
I
fan.
am so sorry, love. I am so sorry. How can I forgive myself? Forget about you forgiving me. How could I forgive myself? I actually am gonna have the Holy Trilogy posters over here on this side of my wall
Oh,
because
nice.
that's my childhood. Star
Are you a
Wars,
Star Wars fan?
Empire, Jedi. Yes. And I
What's your
raised my
favorite?
children to be Empire. That's what we're
Empire?
saying. How could I forget Empire? I was so focused on like, oh, Terminator, Godfather, blah blah blah. Empire. Yeah,
My
Empire.
favorite's Return of the Jedi.
That used to be when I was a kid. I don't know what it was. I think it was because it had poetic justice in it, but
Hmm.
as I got older, I started to appreciate the fact that it's okay that the bad guys won in that one.
Right. Do you so what do you think of the newer shows? Do you like any of the newer shows?
Uh,
Not as much.
Not as much, I'll say that.
Uh, um so out of the first three, the first three that came out, my
hmm
favorite's the third one. The
Me too.
when
Episode three.
Anakin starts to turn into Darth Vader.
Yes, I
I love
agree.
that. Well, I've also read all the books for Star Wars. That's why I also like Star Wars as well. I've read all the
Me
books.
too.
The High Republic. If you guys are Star Wars fans, if you haven't read the High Republic books, those are amazing.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And all canon. All
Hmm.
canon.
Michael
There you
saying
go.
Terminator 2, Empire Strikes Back, Toy Story 2,
Toy
Harry
Story
Potter
2.
2, Spider Man, Puss
Eh,
in Boots, The Dark.
eh.
Um, my favorite out of the Harry Potter series would have to be the Half Blood Prince. I love that book and I love that movie because
I I like Prisoner of Azkaban, the
that one's a
movie.
good one too. That's my second favorite. I the my least favorite one would have to be the first one because it's kind of
I
boring.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I could
Dell
see, but
saying
it
his
was
rankings
starting.
is 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 3.
Dell and I are close. The only thing is that I put six above five, but that is my Scream ranking.
And then double feature says 1, 2, 4, 3, 6, 5. Mine's 3, 2, 1, 4, 6, 5.
Mm, okay.
Because they killed my favorite character. Friday the 13th Part 2.
And see, I
Poetic
like part
justice
three. I like the cheesiness of three.
justice 10 years after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
hmm I got to all right. I got to take my son to see Return of the Jedi in the theaters at the same age I was when I saw it for the first time.
that's
Big Star Wars.
beautiful.
This house,
That's
yes.
beautiful. I love that.
Empire has action and drama. It does. It's one of
And
my
romance.
favorites. I also really love how George Lucas came up with this concept, and it was before its time. Goblet of
Yeah,
Fire is Carrie's favorite, and then the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2.
I
Actually,
like.
if y'all are Harry Potter fans, Carrie and I, we were doing all the Harry Potter movies, so you guys could go to her channel and go check that out. I also did a couple of videos on Dumbledore, Theory on Dumbledore, and the Sorting Hat. So if y'all want to go check that out on my channel, it's on my playlist. If y'all want to go check that out.
Hmm.
Prisoner of Azkaban was too slow and too serious. I didn't enjoy it much. The reason why I enjoyed it because they introduced Sirius Black, which is the Gary Oldman, which is a really good actor.
Me too. And I think that's adds to the gravity of the movie. Like you were saying, it's you know too heavy. I think
hmm
that's why it was.
But I also think that's when they also started putting the horror elements into the movie as well, into the movies. Because if you think about it, Part One and Part Two of the Deathly Hallows are kind of considered horror movies. They're not horror movies, but they're considered horror movies, kind of. They have horror elements into it, and that's when they started putting horror elements into it.
Hmm.
Really, oh my god, we have to talk about it. I don't know
Go
what
back
they're
to that previous one.
Star Wars.
No, 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 no. There was a question before.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. What do you
Do you?
feel films are missing today to really deliver as films in the past? Um, I'll answer that question by relating it to music. So my son wishes that he grew up in the 90s because he wanted to be a fan of like 90s hip hop music. And he said to me that the people that lived through that time appreciate music a lot more than, you know, we do today as kids. And I said, it's because you don't have time to live with the music. If I had to save up to buy an album or a cassette, vinyl, or even a CD, I lived with it for like 6 months. I listened to that album constantly for 6 months. I took out the book or I opened up the album and I read the liner notes. I knew what each musician played. There's not musicians anymore unless it's a band, but um, I lived with that album, so I knew that album intimately. It wasn't just like the hits on the radio. It was the album cuts that never made the radio, and those ended up being preferred. So to relate it to film, a movie comes out and 6 weeks later it's on streaming, it's on
Mm-hmm.
Paramount Plus, it's on 4K. You don't really have time to appreciate it. Everything today is pretty much disposable. So unless you're a super uber fan of that, or if it's a franchise or a series, you really don't have time. Too many movies are disposable today for you to appreciate it like we did in the past.
Exactly. Are you a big music guy?
Yeah, that's my heartbeat. My
I love
heartbeat's
music too.
music.
What
Yeah,
kind of
all
genre of
different
music
kinds,
do you like?
all different kinds, all different kinds. I could go from classical to popular to death metal to I don't know, anything. I'm all over
Me
the
too.
place.
Me too. It's. I think music is a way to express your emotion as well. That's why I
It is.
love movie soundtracks so much. Like I love Hans Zimmer. I love
Yeah, different
John
scores.
Williams.
Oh, John Williams is the man.
I
Yep.
love. I could listen to. This is probably. This is a guilty pleasure of mine. I love his Jurassic Park soundtrack. I could listen to that forever.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I sometimes
It is
listen
so
to it at
beautiful.
work, and people will go, "Are you listening to Jurassic Park?"
Yes, yes, I am.
It's so funny. I love Jurassic Park though.
Me too.
I don't like the
Great
newer
movie.
ones. I like the first two, and then once William H Macy came into it, I was like, "What the heck am I watching?"
Give me the first one. I love the first one.
Me too. I love Jeff Goldblum. How like cocky he is.
Hmm.
Thinks he knows everything. Do you know the odd number of episodes and subtitles to the dark side? Even yes, I do.
Yes, he's explained this to me a couple times before. Yes.
Yes, I do too. Also, I love Mace Windu. I love how he has like he the way he's fighting Mace Windu. There's also a theory that he could have gone to the dark side, or he could have, he could stay the Jedi. His fighting skill level is he has some elements of the dark side when he fights. A lot of people don't know that.
Hmm.
True. I remember running down to buy album CD. Yep, I do too.
Hmm.
I remember my my first like CD, cuz we used to have, the tapes back in the
Yeah.
90s, the Walkmans, and I
Yep.
remember getting my first CD player. We didn't have a lot of money back then, and I really wanted it for Christmas, and it was when they first came out. My mom got everything that she had and bought it for me.
Yeah. And think about it. If you if you wanted to see a movie, depending on when you grew up, if you wanted to see a movie, there wasn't anything like, oh, I'll wait till it comes on streaming.
Mhm.
And if you grew up in VHS days,
I
sometimes you
did.
had to wait up to a year
Yep.
to see it on VHS, or even DVD. You still had to wait 6 to 8 months to see it
Mhm.
on DVD. If everything is coming out so quickly, I've missed movies that I intended to see in the theaters just
Me
because
too.
I didn't get to the theater in time. So
Mhm.
you really don't have a chance to savor
I miss going to Blockbuster. They knew me there.
it. Same. Yeah, soundtracks,
They would
Footloose,
actually give me
Dirty
the movie. You
Dancing.
know how like on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, whatever day it was, they would release the new movies. Well,
Hmm.
the day before they would call me and go, "Hey, do you want to borrow this?" And they would let me borrow it.
Yep. It's always good to have a friend in those places. And
So,
I've
so
worked
I
in
would
video
always watch
stores
it
too.
right before it came out, and people would go, "How did you get that?" Shh, I'm not telling you.
Hmm. For me to know.
Footloose, Dirty Dancing. Yeah, those are some of my favorite too.
Good stuff.
I collected movie soundtracks. Yep, me too. One of my first CDs was the Backstreet Boys, and I love them. Yeah, I was one of those 90 girls that loved boy bands.
Lovely.
I still collect movie soundtracks. Me too. I love them. I love Hans Zimmer, amazing.
Yep.
Interstellar is amazing. Yeah, I don't like the
Yes.
movie as much, but I do like the soundtrack.
Great score. Great score.
Anakin arrives at 32 minutes of the outdoor location episode, uh, because Luke arrives at 16 minutes. Yes, that is true. And then there's layers throughout. Yes, he does. He does know everything about Malcolm was right. Yes.
Life finds a way.
Jurassic City is awesome. I don't know what Jurassic City is. What's that? I don't know what that is. Yes, and Leia is rescued at the end. Yes, it is. Uh, living with an album. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Great. Blockbusters, great memories. Yes, it was. I'm sure. Yes, they still have one in Oregon. I would love
Yep.
to go there
Bend, Oregon.
and see. And Carrie saying, "Yes, we're partners in crime. BSP for life." I used to listen to all Fergie's
Vangelis.
soundtrack.
Wow. Yeah. Like Chariots of Fire, Blade Runner. That's another one.
Hmm. Blade Runner
Good
is a
stuff.
really good soundtrack. I
Yep.
love Blade Runner. I haven't seen that movie in so long.
Good
I
stuff.
haven't even seen the new one.
I feel like putting it on after we're done here. Where
Last
is it?
Blockbuster was a few hours from me. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
Oh,
if
that
y'all
is cool.
haven't gone to follow Dan, go follow Dan, Mr. Dan of Horror. He's awesome. He does if you guys haven't followed him, go follow him. He has movies, horror movies that I've never heard of sometimes. So what's your favorite like foreign film? Do you have a favorite foreign film?
Ooh, that's a good
I love
question.
foreign films. Not too many
Yeah.
people talk about foreign films.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna go with low-hanging fruit here and say there's a movie by Akira Kurosawa called High and Low, and
Mm-hmm.
it's unlike a lot of his other movies. Like he does a lot of uh samurai movies and like Seven Samurai, things like that. But he has this movie called High and Low, and it's about this rich man, and he gets a call one day that his son has been kidnapped, and then he discovers that it wasn't his son, but it was someone who works for him. It was his son because the boys play together, so they kidnapped the wrong kid. And it really goes through the moral dilemma of, well, would you have paid the ransom if it was your kid? Yeah. Would you pay the ransom now because you know it's not your kid? So it's very interesting, but I like a lot of Kurosawa, a lot of Fellini, Ozu.
Those are great.
Um,
Those are great
yeah,
foreign films.
I'm all over the place.
I just watched this.
Criterion.
I just watched this one recently. It's it's an Asian foreign film. This is by Baby Entertainment. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're very like low budget. And it's called Mimicry Freaks. It's also on Tubi. You can watch it there. And this is like an interesting concept where these people were like kind of like they turned into like kind of like zombies or Frankenstein type of things. It was like a
Hmm.
really interesting and well unique movie, and I really enjoyed it. It's
Yeah,
subtitles, so it's you'll hear like Chinese or Japanese words, but it's subtitled, but it's really good. The
yeah.
Crow
I
has a
like a
great
lot of,
soundtrack.
yes, definitely. I know
That
that's
was
one
one
of
of the
her
first.
favorites.
I know it's not a horror movie. I guess it's like horror elements, but that was one of the first horror movies that my older brother got me into.
Yeah,
That's
it's an
actually how I
awesome
got into
movie.
horror. Was my older brother? He passed away 11 years ago, but that's how I got into horror movies was because of him.
Yeah,
Singles. I
Singles,
haven't seen
that's
that.
another good one.
13 Ghosts is an underrated soundtrack.
Huh,
It's
haven't watched
also an
that in
underrated
years.
movie.
Yeah,
The remake, not the original, but the remake with Matthew Lillard. That one is. Oh, you're welcome, Dan. Anytime. Are you a fan of film movements that release terrific foreign films?
I don't own any of them, but I know of them. I just haven't come across any of them.
See, Dan knows what you're talking about. Dan loves foreign films.
There you go.
Cemetery Man and Master Frost Tips are foreign films. Jeff Goldblum is epic in Master Frost. I haven't seen those. Maximum Overdrive has a great soundtrack. I still have not seen that movie.
That is supposed to come out today on physical media, like a Walmart exclusive of it. So I'm waiting for that to show up in the mail because that's a fun movie too.
I
Stephen
have to
King.
watch it.
That's another Stephen
That's
King.
Stephen King, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I like Stephen King. I just haven't seen that one. I've seen a lot of his films and I read a lot of his books. I just read his new one that he just came out with called Fairy Tale.
Mm,
I just recently did that one. That one was fun. All
cool.
right, guys, I kept KB too long, an hour and 40 minutes. So KB's link is in the description down below, and I will also link his Instagram once the live stream turns into a video. And please leave some comments down there in the comment section for either KB or I, and we'll answer them if you have any more questions or if you guys just want to talk to KB, just go to his Instagram or his YouTube channel. Do you have anything going on your channel?
You know, for the first time in a long time, this is the first week I do not have any conversations, but I do have some coming up next week. I normally go live on Mondays and Wednesdays. If it's someone international, it might be a Saturday. But if you follow me on Instagram and you look at my stories, I usually let people know when I'm throwing up something. So follow me on Instagram. It's the same thing, KB Loves Movies. And if you follow me there, you could see when I'm going to have another conversation. And
That's
I want to
awesome.
thank you for having me on. This was
You're
fun.
welcome, and you're welcome back anytime. Like I said,
Thank you.
friend and family. Now we're family, so you're welcome back anytime.
I
I should
appreciate that.
have up a Guardians review here in a couple of minutes. I just have to finish uh, editing it, so I'll have that up, and then I should then on Sunday at 7 p.m. I will have Night from the Night Watch Zone, and he'll be on Creators Corner. So if you guys want to go on Creators Corner, just come follow me on Instagram and or Facebook. I have a Facebook group as well, and come hang out with us. We're always welcome and everything. And good night, everybody. We really
Hi,
appreciate you guys
Michael.
all being here. I love you all.
Thank you.
Interview
Thank you.
channels are dope. Patrick does 8 questions with, so if y'all haven't gone to check out those, go check out Patrick's channel as well. Great stream. Thank you, Karen. Love you. A double feature. I'm gonna go comment on your videos here in a few minutes, so that way it will stick. And I hope
Night,
everybody has
Mika.
a great week and have a
Night,
great night.
Melissa.
I love you all. Bye, everybody.
Take care.